Welcome back, everyone. Look, so today we've got some more parts coming through. Good news, our clutch, oh, there it is, has arrived. Yeah, I'm going to attempt to open it up. So it literally just arrived just now, so I'm going to make a few rips and come back. Okay, so I've got the box opened up, and what brand is it? Don't know what brand it is yet, but I got it on eBay from the US because I needed one with a flywheel that wasn't going to cost me an arm and a leg. So it's two boxes, I believe. Right, so this is the pressure plate, clutch. Oh, looks like the alignment tool, clutch alignment tool. Got the clutch max, pressure plate. Okay, and this is supposed to be a stage 1. So whatever that is, don't know. But since I'm going to get a new clutch, I decided to just upgrade it a little bit. Doesn't hurt, and still retaining the OEM feeling. So that should be the pilot bearing, brand new, and the flywheel. So that's the single mass flywheel with all the bolts, sorry, and that'll bolt onto the block. And I believe the second box should be the clutch. So, Clutch Max Pro, thank you for finally sending it down. I know it's not your fault, but it was a little bit slow. Anything coming from the US to Australia is slow, so, and this is the stage 1 clutch. So, yeah, hopefully that will be the last piece of the puzzle to install the new clutch onto the replacement engine that I just purchased. So that will so the clutch will go on, rear main seal will go on first, clutch, then the spigot bearing will go in, and change the pilot bearing, grease everything all up, and then we're ready to reinstall the engine. So exciting times to come. But yeah, that's the little bit of an unboxing for the new clutch that I've just purchased. Righty, so just unboxed the new radiator. That should mount on the front clip, just the front end. I just compared the old radiator, but it doesn't appear to have these side bits. So apparently this mounts up correctly, but it doesn't have these two bits, so I'm not really sure what it is, to be honest. But definitely keen to see what you guys think. Right, back again from a family outing. So I've removed all the nuts. They were 10mm, 10mm, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's being held on by just sliding it in, and it sits on these two brackets. I believe you just take it out like that, and it seems to be caught on some leftover stuff there. So I'm actually going to clean this up with some brake cleaner. Yes. Brake cleaner. clean like that. Nothing too crazy, but you want to get the surface nice and clean. Remove the plastic retain. Right, so I'm going to try and get it on with 2 hands and come back. Alright, that's now on. It's I've slid it on and it's not as easy as it appears to be. The main seal is now on. These are only 10 Newton meters, so don't go crazy tightening them up. If you are going to do a clutch job, you're more than likely going to remove the flywheel anyway, so just swap that out. You don't want it to leak or anything. And like, I took this rear main seal out and the seal has the inner seal is gone. Outer seal is still there, but that'll leak at the bottom there, so that's no good anymore. Next thing we're going to do is the spigot bearing. So notice that there's none in there, so I'm just going to pop a bit of lube, and I'm going to use a plastic hammer, and then just to start to knock that in flat like that. So hopefully righto. So I'll slowly get that in and come back. Managed to hammer my way gently and slowly, methodically, and now it's sitting flush, but I think I need to get it in a little bit more. So this is the old engine, and the spigot bearing is actually sitting a little bit more indented in a little bit there, so I'm going to get my socket. I think I've got a 13mm socket that looks like it just fits over it like that, and I'll continue to hammer it in slowly. Alright, right you are, that's yeah, bearings in, main seal is in, so I'll yeah, call that a win for today. Nothing out of the ordinary happened, and I'll go next to the clutch. So, clutch job, we're going to need, so I've got a new pressure plate, Clutch Max. This is the new pilot bearing, so I'll install that later, but what we are going to use is, and it hopefully comes with new bolts. It does. Perfect. And this is going to bolt onto the flywheel. So this is a single mass, and it is stage 1. And yeah, this is going to yeah, fit nicely. So I'll try and mount it up to the crankshaft now. Try and line it up. You've got you know, these to line up there, and it can only line up a certain way. So once you get all the holes lined up, the inner holes lined up to according to the crankshaft bolts, then you can start to pop it in. So this job here requires a couple of things: a torque wrench to torque that, torque it on, but I'm also going to need a way to stop the use one of these bolts, and I'll use one of these maybe to stop it from turning. So the crank is going to turn. So I've got a few bits and pieces that I've got to try and stop it. So I'm going to softly mount it on. Now you can see that these holes aren't the same, so it's going to only fit a certain way. I'll line it up and show you what I mean. Alrighty, so actually thought this wouldn't fit, but I just started going, putting the bolts on in a star shape. So that one first, then that, then that, then that, then that, then that, and just kept going around until it pressed the crank shaft in, or the solid single mass flywheel onto the crankshaft. And now we're going to torque it down and see from there. So alright, so these bolts are like 60 Newton meters each once you get them tight, and it's like 60 Newton meters and another 180 degree turn. But as you're tightening them up, this is going to turn and it's going to piss you off. So grab a transmission bolt, just grab a bit and yank it so that it catches on in one of these outer parts, so it'll stop spinning. You've got your torque wrench and that's on. So I'll do one more round of torquing just to make sure, and then it's ready to, for the clutch, and first clean that off, but it's ready for the clutch and pressure plate. So yeah, one more round of torquing. Right, so I just used brake cleaner on both flywheel surface, pressure plate surface, and I'm ready for the stage 2 clutch kit to go in. So again, there's going to be some mounting points that it goes on, so it just sits on. There'll be bolt positions that are only specific for the pressure plate, and you want to line up using alignment tool. Goes into the pressure plate, through to the clutch, and into the spigot bearing, just holding everything together. So pop them all on at the same time, and yeah, hopefully get this clutch on. Alright guys, so this is a big update here. I've actually got where did I left off? The clutch is on, the throwout bearing's on, everything's all greased up. I didn't get to video any of it because I didn't have enough time. I only had like about an hour and a half up my sleeve, so I wanted to get as much done as possible. And the goal today was to mount everything up very loosely. So I've got all the transmission lined up. I've got the what's it called, the mounts lined up. It's on loosely, it's not bolted down or anything, and but it is holding its own weight now. So yeah, just wanted to update you guys where I'm at, and in the next few days hopefully I'll start connecting up everything, starting with the transmission bolts obviously. So but yeah, it's coming along. It's getting exciting now. The engine's in, which means yeah, I can finally start to see the car being put back together again, so that'll be nice. But yeah, that's it so far. Alright guys, so after reinstalling the engine, I plugged most of the wiring harness on the right hand side and the left hand side, enough for me to think that I can start it. But yeah, there's a few, you can see the dramas that I've had to go through, troubleshooting. There's some points where I thought I would just stuff something up and have to start all over again, back to square one. But yeah, kept going with a bit of help, and yeah, watch what happens. Alrighty guys, after fucking around with some fuses, I didn't have to take out the whole console underneath, but I missed a fuse and wasn't talking to the ECU. But yeah, it looks like it's talking now, so let's fire it up. Ooh, looks like it wants to fire up. Round 5. Go! Right, well, I think I found my problem. I did do the timing belt, and it looks like it's off by like a tooth. Both sides, the notches are not facing up. It's top dead center. It's top dead center here. So I must have turned the top cam to get it to line up. It's weird though, because it's top dead center. It's top dead center here too. So shouldn't these notches line up? So what have I done wrong here? Yes, I think the problem was the timing was set correctly on this side. I think it's maybe off on that up there, but it certainly wasn't matching the sockets that are pointing towards the arrows. So apparently you're supposed to have 16 links. There's now 16 links in between. I actually didn't have the rocker cover off for the timing when I did it, so yeah, I think I found it. Alright, bit of an update, to the Saga actually. So I got the engine in, I put everything together, I filled it up with liquids, well just oil, to see if it would start. It wouldn't start. I plugged in VCDS. It had all of these errors come up. Wrong sensors plugged in, all that stuff, so I fixed all that, fixed all the sensors. It's now looking like it's running okay, except the cam shaft sensor was throwing an implausible signal, and then I, with the help of a Facebook group, took off the valve cover, looked at the cam chain timing marks. It was off by a tooth. It wasn't hitting any valves or anything because I turned it by hand before I tried to crank it with the key on. So it looks like everything's in line now, you know, with fingers crossed it will now fire up after I pop everything back together again. So yeah, we'll come back when everything's all, at least valve cover on and side on, and go from there. Alright, so I just fixed the timing. I think I spun it around, didn't hit anything, so hopefully the cam sensor was just the bad timing. Yeah, I just literally did the whole timing belt again. Not hard actually, with the front end off. It's like just there, so we get to see the first start. So it was a fuse that was missing, so I couldn't talk to the ECU. I'll have VCDS open. Why not? Why not? If you don't have VCDS, get it, because it's so good. I've had like 7-8 V-dubs and Audis now, and it all works just the same. It's bloody awesome. Read codes, clear codes. You can do short coding, long coding, adaptations. You can do lots of logs. You can change pretty much. Yeah, I mean, if VW has programmed it, you can see it and change it. So no coolant. Try and start it up. Here goes nothing. There it goes again. It's not starting still. For whatever reason. You'll have to forgive me. I forgot about the injectors and the cam belt sensor or cam sensor. Righto. Sparks in, fuel's in, timing's done, marries up, 16 links, air, there's air going in, I hope. There's an intercooler praying now. Will it start? Let's go. Whoa! It fucking starts! And it fucking sounds sick! Woo! Oh, excuse the mess, guys. Update with the A4 1.8 turbo Quattro wagon advance, whatever you want to call it. Engine swap successful. She fired up. Have a look at this test video that I did. Excuse the excitement, but this is, yeah, the best feeling in the world. So yeah, she's all good, she's healthy, started right up. I don't think there's any concerns anymore. The problem I had when trying to get it started was the timing was off. It's a little bit strange, but I had the timing cover on. I did the timing according to the timing marks on the cam, and I married it and I marked it up with the shaft, camshaft, and it all lined it up. It was perfect. I spun it by hand. It spun freely. It was perfect. But I didn't know that when I popped the cover off, the timing was off by 2 teeth, which is why it still spun okay, but it was out of whack at a time. So it didn't fire up. It sounded like it was going to fire up, but it just didn't. So I went online. I asked the Audi group. They said it was off. Cam chains were off. So I was going to remove the cam chains and line it up there, but then I thought it's probably easier to do it on that side. So off comes the front clip covers. Realign the timing. So according to the markings here, the timing's off by, like, you know, I don't know, an eighth of a turn, I'll say. But timing marks on the cam chains are perfect, dead on. And then I tested it, it fired up straight away, and yeah, it's running like a champion now. So in the next couple of days, or maybe over the weekend, the job here is to put the front end back on, coolant, check for leaks, let it run, and yeah, happy days. I don't think there's any oil leaks or anything down here. Yeah, super stoked, super excited. Alrighty, so front end is front clip is kind of on. I've just put the two T30 Torx there. I need to put the actual crash bar bolts in, but I wanted to mount the radiator, fill up the radiator with coolant and see if it holds coolant and if there's any leaks, because there was some questionable bungs here, but it all seems good. Seems great actually. There's no leaks at all, no coolant, no oil. Excuse the mess that's already on the ground. That's from the removing the engine from the car. But yeah, it looks looking good so far. And as you know, it is turning on. I switched it on, I cranked it, it starts, it fires up, it catches. Very happy, very stoked. I'm just charging the battery as we're working on putting the front end together, but I'm going to do that today. Yeah, can't wait actually. So got some more bolts here. I'm gonna go get changed into some workwear, and I'll come back and start working on the front end. Alright, so guys, the front end is now all back together again. Crash bar is on, the lights are on now. What else is there? Got the lip on, fog lights on, all the plastic bits on. Engine's now running. I've let it warmed up, thermostat's opened up, coolant dropped into the block. Recirculated, checked all the heating, recirculated all the coolant, topped up the coolant again, make sure the oil level's okay. I've gone through and checked all the interior, make sure it's all working, resync the keys. It's now all back together again, and this is the first time that in a while, in a couple of months, that you get to see it all in one piece, and it's just the reason why I got it in the first place. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching and following the build, engine rebuild, engine swap, and yeah, you can see through the journey there's a few dramas which you're more than likely going to go through as well, some less, some more, but just wanted to take you through a journey with me, and it's now complete. We'll go through roadworthy testing and get some new plates perhaps, but yeah, it's all done. So thank you everyone for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. It'll help the channel and keep more content coming. So thanks everyone, and have a good one.